Woo! What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me fix this real quick. I'm on a different iPad today. Wrong one. That one. Mirror the image. There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, Nikki? Caleb, I see you. Boy, you on time today. That's what I'm talking about. My boy know I need that support tonight. Man, I need that support. Man, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Nikki, what's up, baby? Go ahead and start sharing this out real quick. I appreciate y'all joining us tonight. It's gonna be fun tonight. This month is all about self-love, and it's about loving yourself. So, if you were able to join in on the other night, oh, I'm out with coworkers tonight. Go cool ass, go girl. That's what I'm talking about. You need that. You need that outing. Yeah, yeah, you need that outing for the night. So I am so happy that you out taking care of yourself tonight. See if we can get some new people in here tonight to come join us tonight. Y'all see the topic, how you go from a wife to a city girl. You know, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Y'all know how we do it. We're going to challenge you to love yourself even more. Driven Woman and Jenny, how y'all doing? Cool, lad. What's going on, girl? I like that picture there. Oh, look at that.
Ew.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Ooh.
Yeah, so I had to stop being. Y'all know I gotta stop being.
Ah,
But yeah, so I had a literally a after work social downtown, and I just met some amazing people. Like
okay.
I need to do more often. But yeah, so I'm not gonna be on here long. I got some more people I gotta meet with. But Duran, you'll be on until what, 10?
Yeah, yeah, 8 to 10 tonight. Eight to
So I
ten.
should get back on, but I just want y'all to see this fabulousness. Like
Oh,
I
girl,
pulled
that's
myself together.
I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so. I needed that. I personally needed that tonight. So
Yes. So that's
I
my
appreciate
self
that.
love for today. Like I had a glass of wine to ran,
Ooh,
great food. I
mm.
mean, yeah, it was just yeah. I gotta go find this red wine I just had.
I mean, you got the
But
pearls on.
I got the pearls on. Yes, and I wish y'all got to see the whole fit. I don't know how we gonna see the whole fit, but y'all got the slacks on. Got the slacks on
Ooh, that they
with the heels, and of course the red coat. Got to go with the red lips, and I got my heels on. Yeah,
okay.
so that's my self love for the day.
That's your self love.
That's my self love for today, sir. That's it.
How did they do that?
All
Nah,
right.
nah.
Hey, Nana. All right, Duran, drop me. I'm about to go.
Okay. All right,
All
baby.
right.
Take care.
I'll
Okay.
see y'all later.
Okay, I gotta figure out how to drop you real quick. Hold on. I think I know how to do this. Oh, you did it on your own. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you. Joy, Bad Cheetah, come on up here with us. We're talking about women tonight. It's nothing but women in the box. The only reason why I'm in the box tonight is I'm the host. That's it. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm here. My night was on Monday night. And let me tell you, the men showed up and showed out. And I appreciate them so much for doing that. Amazon say my package is real close tonight. I'm trying to see how close it is. I need some batteries. Your boy is up in the gym right now, and I'm trying to get it in, trying to get ready for the summer for the beach. So, got to order a couple more things to help me out in that situation. Okay, so I appreciate the likes tonight. We're talking about how how did you go from a wife to a city girl? What I mean by that is you have been designed to be a wife and you've been acting like one. But at some point, there's a turn where you took where your actions are a city girl. Not saying you are a city girl. Hey, Queen, not saying that you are a city girl, right? And so I'm looking at three different things that has potential to keep you in a city girl space, challenge you to be a city girl or something like that. But then we're going to turn this thing right back around and bring it right back at the end of it and remind you of why you have the characteristics of a wife, right? And what I mean by that, self-love is that biggest character, is one of those self dash words that enhances you in becoming one of the greatest attributes that you have as a woman. Queen, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, thank you.
You
How are
doing
you?
good. I am so happy my topic made you laugh. I'm a old super nerd, so my humor is very, very corny. So sometimes people get it, sometimes people don't. Okay. So yeah, go out, share the live with as many people as you can. I'm trying to get as many women as I can up in the box so that you all can enjoy yourself and lift each other up. And let's prepare ourselves for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is going to be the first night that I actually we're going to host men and women in the box together, and we're going to show them have a positive conversation together. So I love being in that space and having that opportunity to do that. Okay. So I'm trying to go through here, trying to share out as much as I can. I need a better way of doing this stuff, and I'm learning as I go. Okay. And so I'm just trying to figure this out as best as I can.
I think you're doing a great job because I
Oh,
remember the
thank
very
you.
first live, and like you've come along. I remember there never used to be like six people in the box. Now the boxes is filled within like 15 minutes. I just want to give you
Oh
your
yeah.
flowers and tell you like how much this space even helped me. Like I've been in the comments listening. Like, I love the vibes and the positivity that you give. Even your aura is like a ball of positivity.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you much. Sweet Paula, I appreciate you so much, so much. You need to see something positive. Let me tell you, you came to the right place. Actually, Sweet Paula, oh, you can't come up. Men this week. Oh, okay. So, Sweet Paula, what about you rant and rave about how awesome and beautiful you are for just 2 hours? That's all I asked for is 2 hours, and we get a chance to see how beautiful and awesome you are. So I'm gonna let you think about that one, and then if you want to come on up here with us and hang out, I promise you, you're going to enjoy yourself. Uh, I got the men. If you was there on Monday, please let me know because I don't want you to give away the answer to the last question. There she go. I appreciate you so much, Sweet Paula. Sweet Paula, thank you so much for coming up here. Thank you so
Hey
much.
sis.
Hey, Queen. I'm going to keep it together.
You got it. You got it. You got it. So, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into this. So, what I was saying is like, how did you go from a wife to a city girl? What I mean by that is our actions. Our a wife loves herself so much that she handles her business. So let's get back and talking about that piece. What I mean by that is, as a man, right? I'm the best husband to myself, so I can be a great husband to somebody else, right? And so, with being a woman, um, from my vision, which is totally horrible because I'm not a woman, but it's like be the best wife to yourself so you can be a best wife to somebody else. And one of those things is love is in relationships, right? Could y'all agree with me on that one? When you're married, love is a part of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if love is a part of that, now, Sweet Paula, I like that name right there too, Sweet Paula. That right there just makes me smile all together. And then I got a queen too for life. Oh man, brother, I love sitting in my spot because when the box fill up with all the women, I'm just surrounded by gorgeousness. So I appreciate that. Um, what does self love mean to you? And what we do, we like to talk about ourselves and through our lens because one of the things that I believe in is all of our stories. What is it? Our stories is our Bible. Everything that we say about us that is truthful is all inspired by something, and that Bible can change somebody else's life because your Bible is real time, right? That's what I truly believe in. And so I talk about ourselves. So we're gonna go with Sweet Paula first. So what does uh, self-love mean to you?
Actually, my definition for myself changes throughout the
Awesome.
year.
I like that.
So, but it doesn't mean it changes for the better because sometimes you have to readjust yourself after certain situations.
I'm
So
cool with that.
right now, what it is first of all self-care, which is physical and mental.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's also a little bit of self-preservation.
Okay.
But but it's self-preservation, absence of stepping on other people.
Ooh, I like that.
And that's where I am right now. Meaning anything, if I were to go back into the workforce, anything I did there, it would be self-preservation for myself, but it would not be me stepping on other coworkers. It would not be me stabbing people in the back. In my personal life, it would be me looking out for myself first, family, looking out for others that cannot look out for themselves like I always have. But again, also not tipping over into stepping on other people to get any of those things done. Because what I'm seeing is a lot of people stepping on other people and then justifying it because they're upholding something else. And I
Right.
don't agree with that.
You know what? I don't agree with that either. I love to stand on my own too and let those two carry me the way that it's supposed to be carried. So, like I say, what you're doing is helping somebody else because they're going to see someone loving themselves so much and watching what they do for themselves is what's going to be carrying them in corporate America. I like that. I like that. Now, the first question, how do you go from a wife to a city girl? How do you think that take place? Now, everything you say on this platform is correct. I do not go back and forth with something that you say about you because only you know you better than you and the way you view life. Okay.
When you when you decide as an adult how you want to conduct yourself in your life,
Mm-hmm.
taught that if you do certain things, other things follow. But when you get into the real world, you realize that the world is a world of contradictions. So
Ooh.
that self-love that you have for yourself, you try to carry it forward if you were taught that at all. To be honest with you, there's generations that were not taught that, especially
Mm-hmm.
women. There are generations of us that were never taught that. Something we had to learn when we got older. But as you go forth in life and you're dealing with people, it doesn't, when I say dealing with people, it doesn't have to be dating. It could be in just relationships at work, people in groups, just things that go along with people who you wouldn't call your best friends or whatever, people you might call associates. The problem would be that if you were taught that if you did A, B, C, and D, that you would have issues with certain people, but that you were doing the correct thing, so you should come out on top. Then you get into a world where doing A, B, C, and D actually guarantees nothing at all. And then you actually do get the negative things that you were told you wouldn't have to deal with a lot. Then you begin to change and rearrange that self love for yourself, but you also begin to change and rearrange your behaviors towards other people. So if you get out of that world, like you said, how do you go from loving yourself with a wifely type love to city girl? Okay, well, it depends on what it is that you in this carnal world want, because when you get out in the real world, people are going to give you choices and you may not like those
Mm-hmm.
choices. And you can either, it depends on what do you want, because it's you can't even, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's to the point where you work towards an end goal, but so much happens in between where you may not see that end goal. You may get married and that person dies early, because I've had that happen more than once, and it's a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it is actually, people think it's hard, but it's actually not that hard to slip it to something different if you are being shown, treated, and told that something else is what's valued as opposed to what you were raised to believe. Because when you don't see something being valued, like see it like for years going in different
Mm-hmm.
places, in different areas of your life, you begin to question what you were taught because you have to live in your environment. You have to survive in your environment. Even when you move to another environment, there's some underlying things that you will notice that is directly contradictory to what you're taught is supposed to be the right thing. And you have to make decisions on whether or not you follow that or not. And that can warp a person. It can warp their sense of self. It can warp the decisions they make. I've met so many people that made decisions that they didn't even want to make
Well,
or like simply because they had to fit in a structure and
right.
fit in that structure to do what they needed to do.
Right. Now let me ask you, okay. So uh first off, I am virtually upset with you. Let me tell you why. Because you're gonna sit up here and try to tell me initially that you're gonna have all this bad stuff to say, and girl, you're killing me with all these gold nuggets. I'm about to go melt this down and take this stuff to the mint and make this money today. I can't believe you gonna sit there and try to tell me. I mean, you know what? This chat is recorded too, so I got it in writing where you said you don't have all this beautiful energy that you got right now. Girl, I appreciate you so much for opening up and sharing this with us. And everything there are a few buttons in life that I got left, and there's one. Um, if I don't do nothing else before I leave um, this beautiful earth, is I'm going to convince more people. Do not believe what you're being told by others. Believe what's in your heart, because when you get out in these streets, your heart is what's going to guide you. What they told you is total opposite what this real world is like,
Yes.
because this
And
real
then
world
this
is changing every day.
is
And
changing and it changed drastically. And then you're going to find out 10 years from now, people are going to be saying that what you had 10 years ago is not what they wanted, when really that's what they were saying
uh-huh,
they wanted.
yep.
I'm not going to go
I
on that
mean,
rant with that one, but you
it
know,
is a trip. It is, that when you hit that one, I had to, wasabi, wasabi. I had to calm. Not too many things get me riled up, but that one there, when you hit that one, I loved it because somebody else know it. Queen, my girl, coach. Now, coach, you going to have to hold some of this back because you was there on Monday night, so you know some of this already. So I'm going to need you to hold some of that back. Thank you so much for jumping in, coach, okay? And then Queen. Um, Queen, what do
Yes,
you
sir.
say to what does self-love mean to you?
Self love to me is the ability to look in the mirror under any condition and
Mm,
have the statement, I am enough in the back of your head. So when you're going through something, when you're in your bed, when you're not feeling great, when you're not successful in your business, under all conditions, to be able to love yourself and feel like you are enough.
okay. Okay, that is beautiful. I don't know what the human being thought when they invented that mirror. I don't think they probably imagined one thing taking place. But let me tell you, they don't made some people smile in that mirror. They don't made some people cry in that mirror. They don't make some people get confidence in that mirror. They don't make some people question them. Matter of fact, Michael Jackson wrote a song about a man in the mirror. So
That's
yeah,
fact.
I don't.
But then
Yeah,
I
you
don't
said.
think it's the mirror. I think it's the person behind the mirror. Because some people look in the
Mm-hmm.
mirror and have this great confidence, and some people don't. Because it's all about your personal mindset. And that's where self love plays in because the mirror is a reflection of your inner thoughts. So if you don't feel like you're enough, you're never
Exactly.
going to love yourself.
Ooh, let me tell you, I love coming to women class. I take so many good notes in women class.
Thank you.
Oh, y'all are growing me so much. Okay, now what about going from a wife to a city girl?
I had a question about that. Like, what do you mean by that? Because I was kind of, that's why I was laughing because the question was a little bit funny.
Um, So, like I say, I'm trying to be relevant today in some of my questions, trying to make them a little bit more relevant. It is going from the self love space And not saying a city girl doesn't love herself or a city boy doesn't love himself, but some of their actions do not line up with their character.
Okay,
And
I see what you're saying.
that, right, that can be influenced by others. Please remember that I said that could be influenced by others, right? Because the goal is when we catch ourselves doing those actions, at the end of this, how can we get back to as with you all to the woman, and then for the men, it was for them to get back to it on Monday, right? And I'm going to
Mm.
challenge you at the end because I have a very popular question that people love to ask, and it triggers. Oh, does it trigger? But I figured out a way for it to trigger and for it to be released, respected, and then looked at from your own point of view. Okay, so that's what I mean by that.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, so it was funny. Okay, I think that the reason why a lot of women, and correct me if I'm answering the question wrongly. I feel like the
You
reason
were
why a
never
lot of
wrong on
women
here. You know that.
I feel like the reason why a lot of women go from wife to city girl, I think is because they probably had bad experiences with being a wife. So maybe she feels like, okay, the city girls online are having more fun, right? Because they're lit with the parties and stuff. But the wife is in the home. Maybe she had bad experiences and stuff. That's what I think. But
Okay.
maybe I'm answering the question wrong.
No, I
Is that
told
what
you.
you meant?
I meant for you to answer the question from the way that you looked at it.
Yeah,
If I guide you in the answer, we miss out on how you view it
that's true.
because there's somebody else out there that view it very similar to the way the queen does. There's someone out there that may be in the box or maybe in the chat that likes the way queen says things. I refuse to take that joy from somebody else because you're going to view it through queen eyes, and your eyes look way different than mine. I got trifocals on. I don't know about you.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's something I've been dealing with past couple of days.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
like I said, I've lived through situations. I've had people, some people passed and stuff like that. Now I'm 48 years old. Okay. Now,
Okay.
if we're going to talk in relation, if we're going to talk relative to relations between men and women, not just
Well,
women and women in the world of the workforce, or men and women just, dealing with each other on a casual basis. If we're going to look at it relationship wise, here is the issue that I'm looking at.
hold on, sweet Paul.
Uh-huh.
Sweet Paula. So as long as what you're going to say is you, we're great with it. If
Okay.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
mainly
I'm
it.
not great with it, but this is something I'm pointing out to myself because I'm having to rethink some things in my mind because see, we were raised different, but we were raised to look at things differently. We weren't raised
Correct.
A lot of us were not raised with the self-care, take care of yourself, you can take care of everybody else. We were told that once you became a wife, you took care of everybody else over you. And that's
Exactly.
not self-care. Okay, so we're just
Exactly.
and
Okay.
the women that did it, they were told they were selfish. So let's look at it in the space of that. But here's the
Okay.
thing. We have women right now who have lived these lives, might not have had a bad experience, but then you look at the other women that you were told not to be, and they had more fun. So the thing would be, at the end of the day, who looks like they had a better life? Who looks like they had a more fulfilling life? Who looks like they enjoyed life more? Because in some instances, there are people that are looking back on some things and really what you guys consider city girl now, which might not have been the same thing back then. The ones that are labeled that anyway, they seem to have had more, how can I put it? It's not all about fun, but they seem to have had a more fulfilled life than a lot of people that put in work. And you put in the
Mm-hmm.
work and you see the output from your work, and you tell yourself, yeah, this is good, but at the same time, you also look at the other people. You say, you know what they did was good too.
Mm-hmm.
It was just different.
Um. Exactly. So I come from an area similar to yours, right? And like I said, you nailed it earlier when you said what we were told in the house was totally different was in the street. When you got into the world, you use the world as your example. And so what I was told to do as a man did not work. What women were told to do, from what I hear from different women and also you a few seconds ago, yeah, that doesn't work. One of the things I do appreciate about a city girl is she move how she want to. I love that part about her. But there are some other things that go with that. And the crazy part about it is the wife can move in her own way just like a city girl can. And that's the thing. Let's look at and evaluate in our own personal life, like tonight for the women, evaluate, you know what? I honestly I'm 52. There's something that I learned that blows my mind at work. People will reach out to me that are younger than me on my team and ask me, Duran, can I do this? And I used to be like, man, what are y'all talking about? And then I reflect a couple years back when I was turning 50, my boss was 32. I called and asked him, can I work from the beach? When I was told I could work from outside, right? We have to pull back and realize, wait a minute, there are some things in life that we can do because we're human and we have the rights to be able to do them. And so that's my thing is when we begin, so the last month was self-esteem. When our self-esteem begins to rise to that space to where our self-love is rising with it, now we can see ourselves like some other people see us or even higher. And so thank you for that addition. Now my chat is going over your name in this black dress with these hips on and it's cut at the top and them calf muscles, girl. I'm
Can I
just
say
saying,
something?
God is
I'm
good.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Somebody else wants to come up. Can I drop down for? Because she has like personal experiences. I think it would be very
Okay.
beneficial
Oh,
to
okay.
share.
Come on.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now she says somebody want to come up. Go ahead and request, and then I'll let you up. Come on in that black dress, mama. Oh, God is good to me. I'm
Y'all
surrounded
doing?
by all these beautiful women.
How you doing? How's everybody
I
doing this
am
evening? I love your
awesome.
conversation. I love your conversation. So I'll wait till you ask me the question.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
I said what I was gonna wait for you to ask me the question before I respond.
Okay, I can do that. I can do. Let me tell you something. I meet some of the most amazing women on TikTok, especially of the ebony hue and of every hue. But the ebony does something with me, especially if it got freckles, like my mom and them. Oh, it does something for me. So, how do you go from a wife to a city girl? What I mean by that, uh,
Mhm.
as a wife, I see. This is my perspective, right?
Mhm.
Confident, loving herself, the happy wife, happy life. She's making herself happy first. She's doing all of this. But then things has the tendency to jump in our life and cause
Mhm.
us to go a little wild a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Also, the other part of that is, and I'm so for the new people that are here, I do self everything. It's all about you. Then I throw a little twist in there to throw you off and
Mhm.
then I'm gonna come back to self to see how you're gonna respond to being thrown off. Because that's real life. We can be loving ourselves the best. Somebody do something, throw us off. How do we react in that moment? Do we pull back or do we just like I used to city boy up? Like, oh, okay, let me go wild out and knock out 30 women right now because I'm hurt, and then I'm gonna come back and be a good boy again. No, I had to stop doing that. So I had to grow up. So I can't do that no more. Okay, so that's what that question is. And then we're going to talk about what does self-love mean to you?
Mm. Okay. So I grew up as wife. I'm from the South, so my mother was a wife. She married my father. My grandmothers, I was raised that way. I was trained to be a wife, to cook. I know how to cook. I know how to do everything. Um, I was doing those things for all the men in my family, my uncles, everybody. That's just how I was raised. Deep South, Louisiana.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, but this is the thing. My mother and father had a very volatile relationship. He cheated on her infamously. And as a little girl, I'm looking at this and I'm like, nobody's going to ever do me that. Now, mind you, I had all those skills. And my parents left Louisiana when I was about maybe 1 or 2. But I came every summer. So that's how I was able to get the Southern skills. And my mother, we moved to Colorado. My daddy wasn't eating pizza and hamburgers. No, ma'am. No, sir. He was eating red beans and rice with fried chicken and
Oh,
fish. My daddy didn't
oh,
play that. He'll throw the plate up against the wall. Let her serve him a slice of pizza. He didn't play that. And she worked. She worked full time. She didn't work when we first moved to Colorado, but when we as time went on and she ended up being full time, she had to be beautiful, she had to be fine, she had to cook, and the house had to be clean, and she brought in money full time. And so that was who I was. But as I grew, and then I ended up moving back south to go to college. And I've stayed ever since. I'm still here, and I'm 52. And so I ended up through education. That was my thing, and working. That's all I wanted to do was work and education. I wasn't worrying about being a wife. I'm like, that's for the birds. I saw my uncles cheating. I saw all the men in my family cheating. Like, I'm covering and lying for them with they cheating, as a teenager. And I'm like, ain't nobody doing me this shit. So we're going to fast forward in my 30s. I ended up landing a really, really good job where I was making almost 6 figures. And that's when your girl became a city girl. Yeah.
okay.
I
Hey,
did.
hey,
No,
ain't nothing
and
wrong
I'm
with
going to
that.
tell you why. I became somewhat, not like Carisha. I wasn't a Carisha city girl, and I was a different type of city girl. I was the city girl, like, I got it and I don't need it, and it's gonna be on my terms. Because number one, it was really the pickings were slim because the guys who had the money I had, they wanted women of a certain whatever, you know. They want them I call them exoticals, you know. I'm a real black woman. And you're not about to treat me no any kind of way. And I got the same money you have, right?
Right.
And then I'm not about to get with Pookie and Ray Ray living in my house while I'm out here trying to make these 6 figures. And he got somebody up in my bed and
Mm-hmm.
driving my car. We're not doing that either. So I was sort of a love him and leave him type of chick. But then I grew out of that. That was more in my 30s, early 30s to middle 30s, 38, you know. And then I calmed down. I had a child when I was 35. I only have one child. She
Okay.
just turned 18 not long ago. And I delved into motherhood. I still dated, but I think I kind of went more back to, you know, being a little calm. I was calm, tried to date people, one-on-one relationship, that type of thing. And then I ended up getting married when I was about maybe 40. Ooh, let's see, about what, 44, 45. I got married.
Okay.
I think I got married about 44, 45. And that lasted for maybe about 4 years. And then I got divorced. But yeah, I did do the city girl thing. It's on my terms. I'm gonna do I'm gonna have fun and do what I do. And I'll just leave it right there. So that's my answer to that. Do I think women I do want to answer, do I think women should do that today? I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna tell you why. You can do what you want to do, but this is just my answer as to why I say no.
Okay.
It's oversaturated. To me,
Mm.
it's oversaturated. I mean, you could do what you want to do, but I think it's so many people out there, and I think it's kind of the lines have become blurred from being a hoochie mama, a city girl, to a downright streetwalker.
Right.
So who knows the difference? So that's my thought process on that. And I think you might can move, if you move in a particular way. Because I think in my mind, and that's just in my mind, I moved in a particular way that I didn't have, all the qualities of a city girl. I had some city girl qualities, but not
Okay.
full-fledged city girl. And so that would be my answer to that. And I'm sorry I took so long to answer.
Oh, no, no, no. We got 2 hours, and then if we go over, we got a 30-minute buffer. Last night, little man. So I raised my son 4 times. So his bedtime is 10 o'clock. That's why I typically end at 10. But he negotiated for 30 minutes last night. And long
Mm-hmm.
as he stayed at his deal, he get the 30 minutes extra. So we may get 30 minutes extra. I don't know. We'll see how they go. Now, what does self-love mean to you?
Choosing myself first.
Yes.
And not, and I'm gonna say this here, not from a standpoint that I'm doing something detrimental to someone else, but recognizing
Mm,
that I need to choose myself first, right? And so I look at that little girl of me, seeing my mother getting beat up in the corner, and saying in my mind at that time, no one will ever do me that. And I'm 52. No one has ever shook me, cussed me out. And I'm not saying this to make anybody that has happened to feel bad. I'm
right.
just saying that because I dealt with that and saw that, I made it I made a promise to myself no one was going to do me that. And I'm 52 and going strong. No one has ever done me that. Because I probably wouldn't be on here talking to y'all. I'll be in somebody's prison. But anyway, the thing about it is, I'm a pick me first every time. And then when I had my
Mm,
daughter when I was 35, I had a high risk pregnancy. Um, I put her first, and she means everything. She means the world to me. And I raised her, and I give her. She has an older mother with old folks sense. And I talk to her. I say, I need to write it all in a book. I need to put it on pen to paper. And I tell her every day, I said, let me tell you something. It's a lot of things that I don't know, but it's a lot of things that I do know. I hope you're not
facts.
letting this go in one ear and out the other. Because this, what I'm telling, it could be a whole master class.
So,
Because I
some-
wish, and this is the thing, my mother had me very young. My
okay,
mother didn't know nothing. It's like me and her, we grew up together. And I'm not saying that to shame her. She didn't know what she didn't know.
exactly.
She
And
was a
she knew.
teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to put my mama on game to a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
Even till this day, and she's 70, she be like, Sandy, they do that. I'm like, Mama, oh my God, Mama. You know, like, you so green, like, really? But it
We.
is what it is. She just don't know. She was married to one man her whole life. My mama wasn't in those streets.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
That's
there
a
we go.
that's a lot. That's a lot of people like that. I want to share this
Mm-hmm.
one. You mentioned a book. I'm gonna share with you what I'm doing, and maybe this may help you because it's something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
My podcast starts in 2 weeks, right? The goal is
Mm-hmm.
to put in at least 10 years at one a week. That's 520 episodes. When I do leave this space,
Mm-hmm.
my kids are going to have the opportunity to go back to those lives and type in the topic and have a conversation with me by the way my podcast is set up. That way, the book
Mm-hmm.
stands still and is limited on the chapters. Doing the
That is a
video,
great idea.
yep, that's that. The reason why I'm
That's
sharing
a
it
one. And
because
guess what?
if
Guess which
more of us
girl is
did
a whole
something
brother?
like that, that's
Uh-huh.
when our story become our Bible. And not only can my kids sit in that chair, like I have 2 chairs. Anybody can sit in my second chair and have that conversation with me.
Wow.
Yep,
That's
that's
great.
the premises behind that.
I'm gonna drop my info because I would
Okay.
like more information about that, but I'm gonna mute myself so you can go on to your next people.
Okay. Follow me and then I follow you back and then shoot it to me. And then yeah, I love to share it. I'm a big sharer because I didn't get to where I am by
Thank you.
myself. And
I
so
appreciate it. And I
the more
followed you.
yeah, the more people who do it. Now I I got the J. I don't know if it's JT and then something else, or if it's JD T.
Jay, yeah, it's Jay. It's Jay.
Okay, because I'm from Oak Cliff. I'll tear up a name like real quick, and it
I
wouldn't be
tore it up
personal.
myself
It's
when
just
I was trying to change it, but it's all good.
okay. Okay.
I just want to like to ask a question because I've been hearing. Well, how long has this self love phrase been going on? I first saw it on YouTube for about 2-3 years. My question, I have a two-part question. My question is, can you have true self love for yourself if you're not healed from past and trauma experiences? The second question is, I talk about this all the time with my older sister. With all these self love videos, self love, content creators, how has self love helped our community and society as a whole? Since there's been all this prolific talk about self love, have we seen a difference in our community with everyone talking about self love?
Okay. So I'm going to answer from a man perspective because I'm a man. Okay. But it has potential to apply to everyone. And to the first one, do not laugh at me when I give you my answer. All right. So to your first question, can we honestly have that when we're not healed? Yes. The reason why, you can have whatever you want because it's your life. For me, as a man, everything starts when I decide what I want for me. For me, I wake up in the morning, go through my routine. I wake up, Duran, I love you because, boy, you handsome. I go to the mirror, brush my teeth, get that smile right because I know that's if I don't have nothing else going for me, I got to smile because that's what I hear about the most. So, Duran, get that smile right, baby. Then I get up and I contemplate why you going to the gym because you fine. So let's go. So we go to the gym. When I'm lifting in the gym, I am encouraging myself. I'm letting myself, bro, you killed that set. I'm so proud of you, my boy. Duran, you are the man. I speak in third person a lot because my mama didn't name me I. My cousin them did not nickname me, and nor do I pay taxes on any other adjective that describe me. My name is very powerful because other people hear it, they like it, so I get a chance to hear it also. So I pump myself up. I'm excited for my customers throughout the day because I already know that how I am going to change, how Duran is going to change their lives. I'm just waiting for them to show up and experience it. And then after that moment is over, I get a chance to high five Duran and say, bro, you killed that. They were not ready because like I'm working in the state of Kentucky right now. They are not ready for this country black guy out of Oak Cliff, Texas at all with all this energy that I have. And so am I completely healed? Nope. Am I healing myself every day by giving myself something that I was not taught to give myself? Yes. That's how I say, because I have the right to give myself whatever I want because I own my body. I own my mind, my spirit, my soul, all of that. So that's your first question. The second question, that's a little bit easy for me also. I am a part of my community. I am Duran Waters is responsible for me playing my role in my community. And let me tell you, I'm joking when I say this. I don't like y'all. I've lived comfortably. When I say comfortably, for 7 years. I mean, barely working 8 hours a day, weekends off, having nothing to do, just sitting on my butt. But no, I had to get on TikTok and I had to bring out my personality, start doing certain things. Then I cracked the joke. It went pop. It went viral. Then I learned this live thing. Very funny story. Caleb, that's in the chat, another guy named Dave, we got left in a somebody else live and they went to sleep. And we was like, bro, we having fun. Let's start a live to uplift men. And then I came in alive and I heard two women say how much they were underappreciated. Well, oh no, I'm a genius with words. So the other thing about me, I am a professional manipulator. I manipulate people to fall back in love with yourself, fall in love with yourself, or fall even more in love with yourself. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. I started a live on a Wednesday And all I wanted to do was appreciate women for a couple of hours. And I was so shocked at the feedback from it. That's why we still doing this. Like I said earlier, I'm getting ready to start a podcast now because I see this other direction. Now I'm not sitting on my butt no more. I'm doing all this work now, but I love what I'm doing because I love myself. I'm doing my part. I typically say this at the end. This isn't my life. This is ours. And as people continually stay in here and go in here, all of us are not in Clearwater, Florida. Our village has went from our neighborhood to 48 states until somebody from Alaska, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii joined, right? The 48 that are connected, yeah, we're all creating a bigger village. So from my vision, we are changing our community together. We all are doing this. The more we begin to love ourselves even more, because we're doing a great job. Does that kind of help you with your questions? And I also love the questions also.
Thank you. But did you hear me? I said
Yes,
thank you.
ma'am.
But yeah, it answered it from your personal experience. I mean, how your stance. But I was just asking the second part: has anyone seen a change in our community as a whole with this self love phrase?
Well, I don't know from a whole perspective. There are very few things in life I look at as a whole outside of me because I have no idea what those numbers are, none whatsoever. Our community is so large, I cannot fathom what the actual numbers are. And that's why here we concentrate on us and do our part. And that makes that number better every day that we do that. So, yeah, that one there is more challenging for me because I have no idea what the whole looks like, and I try not to do too many guesstimates because those are dangerous. Because I would hate for someone to do a guesstimate and leave me out when I should be a part, vice versa. I don't like doing I do not like kind of revise my TikTok words, so I don't get in trouble again. Um, I would really dislike to leave somebody out of that. I may say 10 billion, but find out there's 10 billion and 18. I left out 18 people, so I kind of stay away from that one. So I'm not gonna say I'm sorry, but that one there I stay away from.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that you asked me those two questions, can you answer my question? The bottom one, pretty please.
What does self love mean to you?
Yes, to you.
Oh, I mean, I guess it's another way for saying respect,
Okay.
self respect,
Okay. I love that.
and that's what I practice daily. Because if you don't have respect for yourself, how can other people have respect
You're
for
totally
you?
correct. I apologize. I got to ask you a question and then ask Sweet Paula a question to be fair, because I asked the men this question. Okay. The question is, I love your answer. Oh my gosh, I love your answer because that is the common thing that I'm hearing.
Hmm.
How many times today have you told yourself out loud with seeing your name, you love you?
I don't do that, man.
Because I got the men with that on Monday.
I don't do that. I don't. Honestly, I mean, don't take offense to it. I feel like I'm in a safe space, but me personally, I think that's a little corny.
Okay, ain't
But
nothing wrong
no,
with that. Ain't
I
nothing wrong
don't
with that.
say that. It's just
Okay.
how I treat myself and how I allow myself to be treated.
Okay.
So
There's
that's
not.
telling me I love myself.
Okay. You're 100% right on here. You're
Hmm.
never wrong. Now, I may ask you not to talk about everybody else, but outside of that, you're 100% when you come from your perspective. You know,
Hmm.
but I'm super corny, so that makes me feel good when you said that was corny.
I like corny men. I honestly like. Well, I'm gonna speak specifically about black men because it seems like black men
well,
have an issue with
well, hold on,
being
hold on,
free.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Our day was Monday. This is about you. So
Okay,
I'm gonna
well,
give you 10
I
seconds.
was
I'm gonna give you
just
10
responding
seconds.
to
Talk about black man.
what you said about being a corny. You're corny.
Hmm.
I said I like corny men, but I said specifically I'm gonna speak about black men. I'm not gonna generalize it. So I wasn't
Okay.
going on no topic about black men. I was just saying I like when a black man is not afraid to be corny. Cause that's super. I'm nobody can touch me. I'm super cool kind of thing. It's just so tired.
Okay,
So that was
no,
it.
I'm super corny. I'm short bus corny. Asia, thank you for your patience. And ooh, look at your skin glow in that picture, girl. And they ain't got nothing to do with no ring light either. You can't even convince me on that one. Miss
No, it
Asia, how
didn't.
you doing?
I'm doing good. How everybody doing up here?
We are awesome. So we're waiting on you to share. So do you want me to ask you the questions, or you already got them down? Or I'm ready.
So,
Whatever you're ready to do.
so when you ask the question, I have the experience myself in a literal sense. Like I actually went
Okay.
from a wife to a city girl. But my reason wasn't. I, honestly, I was struggling with rejection and the feeling of being discarded so easily because I am the one that left.
Okay.
But he, there was no fight for me. There was no let's work it out. Let's just separate and see where it goes. There was none of that. So I was dealing with that type of rejection along with I had very high self-esteem before the marriage and little comments or little statements of it's hard to be attracted to me. I'm ugly. I look like a boy. Um, I need to get my body done. Stuff like that. It really broke me down. When I saw that I was still desired outside of him, I kind of I took it to the extreme. So that's my personal experience of how I went from my wife to a city girl. Because I was looking for that validation again, or that like
Okay.
looking for people to build me up again.
Okay. That is so real. You're not the only one either. Just so you know that there are so many of us. I said it a little bit earlier when it came to me. I had somebody I had feelings for, and they stood up for themselves, which is what I asked people to do. And they wanted to go try some stuff. I was like, go do it. I said, boy, it is summertime. And it was right around my July month. That's when my son go visit his mama, and I could be a grown man all day long. Yeah, yeah. I maximized those 31 days. I'm talking down to the last couple of minutes till August the first came. So I get it, and a lot of us can relate to that. And this is what's crazy about that. This is the way I view it. That was some of the best self love that I displayed for myself because I did what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, when I wanted to do it, and why I wanted to do it. That's it's the total opposite of what Sweet Paula said. I mean, it's exactly what Sweet Paula said. We told one thing up in the house by all these other people how life's supposed to be, but you get out into this world and you interact with another human being that didn't hear the same thing in the house that you heard. Oh, it's a whole different game out here now. And even the strongest person get upset. And
Yeah.
someone asked a question. I think it was Sweet Paula. Okay, I'm tired of seeing these people on the other side win. I want to win. Now, how can I win legally and keep my freedom? That's my philosophy. Okay, I'm gonna go win to make sure if I do get into any kind of trouble, I'm not gonna sit in the back of nobody's car. And so, I love that. That happens. So, with all of that and some other stuff that you shared, what does uh what does self love mean to you?
Um, it's really hard to shorten this answer. I'm gonna try my best.
You don't have to
So
shorten it.
for me, it's more so like showing up for myself the way that I've shown up for everybody else in my life
Mm.
that I've said I love you to.
Ooh. Okay.
So listening to them, honoring them, all of that, all of those sort of things. But how I define love, I did grow up in a church background, so when I think of love, I attach it to the scripture, 1 Corinthians 13 and 4 through whatever. So when I read that, if I'm not doing what it's saying, if I'm not being patient, kind with myself, if I'm not being proud, if I'm struggling with pride, if I'm being dishonorable to myself with my bad decisions, um,
self-seeking as like to in a way to put other people in harm's way, stuff like that. Forgiving myself constantly because I did make poor decisions at one point that I feel like I still hold over my head. So all of those kind of things, making sure I speak to myself the right way because um, at one point my parents did not because they just they didn't have that. So not coming into agreement with the things that my parents did say about me or spoke over my life, all of that kind of stuff, that's how I love myself. It's not just getting my hair done and going to get a facial and taking myself out to eat. Like that's all cute, but for me self-love is really painful. So that's how I know when I'm doing it right, when it hurts.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Uh, I got this. I don't know. I thought I created this second topic. I gotta fix it real quick. So I love that. I'm gonna go back over some of the stuff that everyone said because we're gonna go into this next topic, and we're gonna split this last hour up in half. But this next topic is hold on, let me double check and make sure. Council. Who controls the love for you? Who controls your love is the question. And then let me create this real quick. Because now, while y'all are thinking about that, Duran, go get my package, please. Who controls your self love is my question. Now, I already know the answer to all these questions. What I mean by that is the way that I set up everything is it's set up with you loving yourself, with everything being about self. Okay. And then I typically like to throw a little curveball in that. Okay. So while that's loading, let me go back to my notes real quick to remind you all of what you all said to me. These are not my words. When you decide as an adult how you live your life, that was one example of self love. Looking in the mirror and saying self is enough. That's another way. Personal mindset, choosing myself first, not hurting someone else in the process of my self love. That one I love because two people said that one. I'm picking me first. That was said also. Uh, Self respect. That's what I'm talking about. I think that's like May or June. That's when that one comes up. And then showing up for myself is what you just said, right? So with that being said, and I've heard me, and I heard myself, and I heard self. The question is, who controls your self-love? Now, that's a loaded question because I'm gonna ask you something else after this, designed to distract you, just so you get it. I'm being told, Duran, you're too mean. You got to be nicer in this stuff. So I'm letting you know up front, I am out to trick you because the world is going to trick you. So I'm preparing you for the opportunity when it shows up. You have a different perspective at how to look at it and how you want to approach it.
Can we have two different answers?
You can have whatever you want. Like, I promise you, this is the space where whatever you say is correct. And you can say it, you can contradict yourself for all I care, both of them correct. And if anybody got something to say, Caleb's in the chat to block them. So we don't play that over here. We're not, nobody over here argue with what you say about you.
So, I mean, okay, so on one side, I want to say that I control it myself, but I know that that's not really true. Because then I would be consistent on my own. If I controlled it myself, it wouldn't waver based on what other people are saying or doing to me. But I would say I'm anchored by God's love for me, and that's what I run back to when I feel like I'm not loving myself. So it's a two-part answer.
That's it. Life is built into parts. What I call though, this boy ran downstairs to go do it without the keys. He be on that phone. He gonna come back. Always, he gotta catch the elevator downstairs. Wait on the elevator to come back and be like, Daddy, I left the keys. I'm like, boy, you my DNA. I know. I do the same thing. So, okay, no, that is life has moments that we live in. And so they have the right to do that. So that's why I say you have the right to do it however you want to. And it could be whatever you want it to be. That controls your self-love. I mean, DJ control mine sometimes. I look at him and be like, boy, you so handsome like your daddy. Dang, dog. You know, he controls it. You forgot the keys? Oh, no, he took the keys with him. Okay. Sweet Paula. Sweet Paula. What are your thoughts? Now, if you're a woman and you have the numbers, y'all come on up here and talk to us. Because let me tell you, I know nothing but beautiful, amazing, smart, wise women. Huh? What the keys at? Oh, you didn't take the keys with you? Stick them on the table next to my wallet. On the countertop, unless you moved them.
Yeah, I moved them. I don't remember where I put them.
Did you hang them up? Dude, I'm in a live record. You can't be doing that to me.
Okay, well, can I open my room? Because I can't find them.
Look up there. Go look in my room. You distracted me, sir. I don't care how handsome you are. All right. Love you. Okay. Sweet Paula, who controls your self-love?
That's tricky because
It is.
I love the inner me, but there's a different version of me for every person in my life, from my kids to my sister, to the separate sister that's across the river from me, to anybody I've had a relationship with. Nobody gets the same me, ever. So I tend to, depending on the situation, I tend to morph into whatever fits in the situation. Some situations I stay away from completely because I know how I have a tendency to do that. I begin to act like the people I'm around. There are places that I don't go, people that I don't hang out with. So, I keep my circle very small. But everybody gets a different version of me.
Okay.
And the problem would be, since everybody gets a different version from childhood on up, the version that's just me with no kids around, no man around, no nothing, that one's just there. It's almost like putting on templates for everything I do. It's almost like getting dressed for some production in a play, no matter where I'm going, because it's always a different me. So the love is me, but I twist what I am to be perceived as by other people depending on what I think they need, because I twist myself to fit other people's needs.
Okay.
And so then that question would be, so if I love inner me, why would I need to twist myself for the other people? But that's how it's always been for me, though. So it's contradictory again, but that's is just what I do. Now I would say this. I mean, it's not the best thing, but for me, it works out a certain way. But it's not something I would suggest everybody do. But I know that I got this whole other thing going on, this neurodivergent stuff, and I got kids with special needs. So nobody gets like just plain me. Nobody just gets plain me. Everybody got a different version.
Okay.
And so I love me, but I also love to be the one that other people love. And that can be problematic.
Okay.
Now, I'm not gonna be the one that people love and he doing stuff like hitting on, but no, because I know I got a violent streak. I can't do that. That one, that's a generational curse. That's a generational curse that I know for a fact was broken between me and my sister, who's 10 years older than me, and partially by my mom. But see, from my grandma's time on down, no, we broke that curse because we don't have it in us for it. We can't just sit by and just get manhandled like that. But that doesn't mean we weren't left out of the other bad behaviors that just occur regardless. I mean, it's just part of living at this point. So, like I thought, you know what? And then I'm rambling. So yeah, okay. I love me, but I also love and enjoy twisting myself into a pretzel for other people.
I love that. Man, not man, but that is so freaking powerful because as a man, I do some of those similarities too. I literally like I transition every moment for what the moment needs. I'm morph. I like the word you use, morph. I morph into what every moment needs, and I love it. I, I love it. Who? Okay. Uh, interesting in the chat. All right. Coach Cora, she showed up for me. That's what I'm talking about. Coach Cora,
Hello, everybody.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. I had stepped away, brother, and that's why when you tried to get me earlier, I had stepped away. I was cooking, but I'm back and I'm ready for the questions.
You ready for the questions? Okay. Now, the last question you can't answer because you was here Monday, so you gotta wait. Uh, so how do you go from wife to city girl? And what I mean by that is typically we're a wife. Not. Oh, I apologize. Not me. You are okay. I say it from my perspective, but it means a woman.
hmm
Uh, as me, I'm a husband to myself first. But then there are some times when I became a city boy. I was trying to say city boy Monday, not hot boy. That's what I was trying to say was city because that was the word that was being used last year. But I used hot boy. And so I would get out there and do hot boy things that was not representing the self-love that I have for me as a husband. Okay?
I totally understand.
And so, as a woman, you love yourself because you're hopefully you're practicing being a wife to yourself, right?
hmm
And so, when that falls off, how did you fall off in that situation, in a situation to where you did it? Now, this is the cool thing about being a hot boy, city boy, or a city girl. Your self love is ignorantly crazy for the simple fact that you're doing what you want to, how you want to, when you want to, and don't care who got something to say. That's that self love I love right there. It's how do we blend those two together and become the greatest person that we can be when it requires those.
Great
Okay?
question. Loaded question.
Very loaded. I'm always loaded now.
And I'm sitting here trying, thinking about how to articulate it. Now, me coming from a marriage of 2 decades, this is a very relevant question for me because when I stepped out into this dating scene or even just like interacting with males, I was flabbergasted because I had lived in my bubble for so long. I really didn't know how to move and shape. So I had to go back to the me kind of before I got married to kind of figure out how to move and shape. So transitioning from wife to city girl is impossible for me in its entirety. I could never really be that woman because I was never that woman. Even when I was younger before marriage, I wasn't really her. But I will say I learned a lot about myself during that time, what I want, what I really like, what I don't really like. And that was a part of my self love journey because I was evolving past just the experience I had with my partner. Um, the transition wasn't easy. Again, I don't
Okay.
think I could ever completely be, but there was a portion of self-expression in that. There was some finding myself. There was some finding and tapping into like my feminine energy as far as when it came to men. So when I say city girl, when you say city girl, I kind of know what you mean, but well, it's no buts. I know what you mean. And for me, it wasn't really city girl, but it was kind of like city girl moves as far as thinking independently, kind of going for partners who were more um passionate, pleasing, to where I was playing a different role. I played a very submissive role throughout the marriage. During my city girl journey, I played a very dominatrix type of role to where now I want to tap into my power and I want to work with his power from the opposite end. I was very used to being the submissive. And so I gained a lot of self-love in knowing that I have the power to be upfront and to pull him in, so to speak. I don't want to throw y'all off, but this was a journey for me in tapping into my feminine energy. Um, that was for me. That was backed by like confidence and just confidence. Just kind of like tapping into trying different things to be like, am I really confident in this? Because there was so many roles, city girl roles that was never played within my marriage. So it was a hard transition, but it was worthwhile. Um, it was worthwhile. I learned a lot about myself during that transition, but I will always be wife because that's what I'm led by. I'm led by I'm led by love. Is the love question for me?
Yes, the love question for you. Hold on. Before you answer that question, so there's K Chef underscore SFF. You can't find my keys? Okay, I'll show you in a minute. She is the one that fell asleep in the live when Caleb, Dave, and myself met each other. So give a big shout out to her because this is why we're on live right now. It is one of the biggest reasons. And she get mad at me because every time she show up, I tell everybody because I was living comfortably doing nothing. But I'm having so much fun doing something with you all now. And she opened up that space and we all met each other on live and like we tight like four flat tires right now, like we're in the same block. So I just want to shout out. She's finna go to sleep, and I just want to say thank you again to her. Every time I see her and she pops in, I always say thank you because she did that night. Okay, so Coach, go ahead.
I
Yeah,
love the
who
way the
controls
other.
your self love? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's it. That's the question. I do, and I love the way the last speaker was very transparent
Mm-hmm.
in articulating that, and I totally understood it. Um, I was thinking, how do I articulate this? I control my self love, and what really motivates me is me getting better at being me. It's kind of like what I said about me testing the waters to build areas of esteem that wasn't there. That's a part of my feminine energy because the other part I did very well.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the part, the core part that's just me, the feminine woman that I needed to find. So I'm geared by seeing my end result, like following the chapters and the journeys and like noting them, seeing them, living through them, and my children. Like I'm really geared by myself and the love that I have for my kids because I'm so family oriented, just nature wise. I wanted to help everybody, big part of my community, do a lot of humanitarian work. It gears me. So that's the love of myself that makes sure I'm always on point so I can be on point to someone else. And what I mean by that is I'm geared by children. I always wanted to be one of the women that I needed when I was a kid. That's the woman I become. I'm geared by that. I'm geared
Okay.
nothing and no one will stop me from being that woman that other people, other kids and young women can come to. I'm
I
geared by
love the
that.
way you said that. I love the way you said that. Because that's pretty much where I'm at. Everything is for the, not everything for the kids, but I'm at my best when I'm serving children, disabled,
Hmm.
you know, and even elderly, but doesn't have to be disabled elderly. But I'm at my best when I'm serving the community.
That's who I
And
am as well, sister. Hmm. So
and that's what I enjoy too.
Okay, that's so beautiful from y'all. Sarah, what's up, baby? My 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 girl look like she's having one of those days.
I really am. I don't want to bring down the mood, but so yeah, it's been a really hard day. Um, my husband was injured while overseas, so I I'm a little worried.
Okay.
Um, so it's been a rough day.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Well, you know what? You deserve to have a rough day. You earned it. Like that's the okay. Perfect, perfect example of self-love. Being able to self-love means that you have the right to feel. That is your right to feel for someone that you love, right? And the next question we're talking about right now, who controls your self-love? That's a great example of what your husband is doing because you love him so much and you're concerned about him. And so, yeah, you've earned and deserved every right for every single emotion that you have that's going on right now. And that's the thing that for me, I used to feel bad for feeling like that. In this climate today, I get excited because I can say, "Ooh, I'm still emotional." Ain't there many people out there like that, or most of them are afraid to show it. So I'm like, "Whoa, I can still be like that," right? So I love and respect, and you know you my sorrow rock. Anybody got something to say? I'm kicking you out ASAP. You don't play with her at all. You don't. Yeah, you don't play with my sorrow. So, but uh, yeah, you feel how you want to. Now, for me, you know I'm country and I do things my way. I'm gonna start shouting now because I already know what's on the other side. So, I'm gonna go ahead and shout now so I'm prepared because I'm 52. You young. My heart can't take all that energy just at a pop up like that. So we can't do pop ups no more. That's how you ended up in the hospital. COVID popped up, scared me, ended up in the hospital. We don't do that no more. So now I go ahead and celebrate early so that my body is already in that space. So yeah, you go ahead, you hang out there a little bit. You ain't got to say nothing. You ain't got to do nothing. And for everybody, for the ones who say he's biased, you damn straight I am. That's my sorrow. So
no,
I'm going to be biased,
I
and
I, I
you can
will
hang out.
like I don't I'll be honest with you. I don't understand like go from a wife to a city girl kind of thing. I don't know. I've been a wife for so long that I don't know really anything else. Like he caught me right when we was in college. I didn't even get to experience life yet. He was like, "Nope, you're mine," and that was it. um
That's good.
so like I didn't even get to experience any of this city girl life. I cannot hot girl summer with you. Like I
See,
can't do that. So
I'm
like
starting to think the city girl thing isn't as bad as what people are painting it to be, or it has way too many definitions. That's what I'm
Facts.
starting to wonder.
That's it is
yeah,
It's
not as bad
true.
as people. If pull out the emotions as balanced as you can, follow the actions. These
yeah,
people are living their best lives.
right.
And so it's
Um
like, how do we balance those two? So,
like I live my best life with my husband when he's here.
hmm
We travel, we spend time together, we make the most out of the moments that we have.
hmm
Uh, I have always been a person, even when we were dating, we made things really exciting, even if things seemed really boring, right? We figured out how to make them exciting and tried new things, and we still do that to this day. So it's not like you can't have those things with your person, but I also think it's really important that you have that time for yourself as well, because I like I said, I met my husband when I was in college. So like I had my group of friends before I met him. Um and just because I got with my husband didn't mean that I didn't keep those same friends around. It didn't demote them in any sort of way that they had in my life. And they kind of followed me on this journey and embraced like me becoming a wife and becoming a mom, and they made space for me in the same way that I made space for them when they were changing. So I still had, I guess, my city girl moments with my girlfriends too. Like I still was able to be Brittany. It wasn't just Aaron and Brittany, like as one word. We were still Aaron and Brittany. Like that's how we are. Um and but when we're Aaron and Brittany, we're Aaron and Brittany together. And when we're Aaron and Brittany, we're two separate people. And I remember when we were living in Lansing, um, and our family was down in Detroit area. When we would come down and visit, I would call his friends up and be like, you need to come get him. Like, he is driving me crazy. Y'all need to come get your friend. Like, take him somewhere. And I would be like, don't call, like, like you see like the guys doing the money part where they're like telling their girlfriend, don't call me, don't text me, order some food, da 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 da. Like, that was literally me. I was literally pushing him out the door, because then that meant that I got me time and he got him time. So he had his wild boy moments, and I had my, I guess, city girl moments with my girls. Most of that included wine and us sitting in the house, but it was still time for
Yes.
us to just, for me to not be somebody's wife, not to be somebody's mom, not to, and just for me to be Brittany and not have anything else tied to that. And even when I would take girls trips, like, he would still, of course, check on me, and I would still run things by him to make sure that he knew what was going on. But he never stopped me from doing things that like made me happy, because my happiness still meant something to him. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Exactly.
and his happiness meant something to me. So like when he would go on his boy show, I'd be like, okay, so have fun in Vegas. Have a great time. Don't spend a whole bunch of money, but have a good time. There's a budget. There's a budget. You know, and don't hit on a side on a 17. Don't hit on a 17. Like, so I mean, I I think there has to be healthy balance. And I
Okay.
think that we learned over the 17 years we were together what healthy balance looked like.
Okay. I love that, Sarah. Thank you so much. Queen for life. I'm gonna come to you real quick. Official crown, because I like that crown in her hand. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Okay. Now, y'all like me now, boy. When y'all see this next question, God gonna be good to me, because I'm gonna have to explain it. But on this one right here, how do you go from a wife to a city girl? And like I said more than once, and I don't mind saying it multiple times tonight, because I love hearing myself talk. I don't have a problem doing that. It is being a wife is like being a wife to yourself, making sure you're good, loving on yourself so that a man knows how to treat you, right? I add that to it. Now, we have the tendency to go into me, city boy or hot boy, and then women, city girl or hot girl, right? Depending on what area you're in. I see it that way. And so with that taking place, it's like, how do you transition? Like, what is an example of when you've done that? If you have done that transition, what is an example of that? And then when you give that example, that's why the second question is, who controls your self love? Because when we do that, who is controlling our self love? And then who do you want to control your self love, or however you want to answer that question?
Well, I don't I don't really think it's healthy to do that and you're in a marriage, but I would say that I kind of experienced that going through my divorce. It really opened my eyes to so many things um that I had allowed to happen, whether I felt like manipulated or it was just something I chose to do. But I realized how much I didn't take time for myself.
Mm,
And I I started doing things, and honestly I was acting completely out of character and way beneath me, but in my mind it was what I would consider a hot girl summer, or whatever. What's the term y'all use on there? City girl. That
city.
was my version of the city girl. I felt like I was doing everything I wanted to do, but after that whole episode I felt even worse than before. So in that, I think the healing part really happened when I learned to just date myself. And in dating myself, and I don't mean that to be cliche, because what I did was all the things, the characteristics that I would have liked to have seen in my ex-husband, or what I would like to have in a partner, I gave that to myself. So as far as listening to me, I realized how little I listened to myself. Um, uh, Paying attention to the things that I want, or even finding out who I was as a woman. It was so little that I knew about myself, because I was like tap dancing, um, kind of in the vein, in the same sense that the other ladies were saying, like I was a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I realized how I was I was destroying my own mental health and my own self-worth. And so I started paying more attention to the things I like, the things I want. um and you can see it if you're looking from the outside looking in. You can think it'd be selfish, but considering how little love I had for myself, it was the healthy kind of self-love. Like I wasn't being selfish. I was actually like stuff like just go allowing myself to separate from people just to cry, and allowing myself to actually deal with process emotions, because so many times I would just bury myself in work, or I would like just bury my emotions and act like they didn't exist. But I allowed myself to feel, I allowed myself to be present. And then I realized that the way that I was seeing people, because you don't realize, like when you're in that self-loathing, the way you see people is perverted. It's kind of distorted. You think that they mean this. It's because of your own self-image. And so when I started to love myself, I realized the environment that I felt like was hostile or toxic or whatever, I was the one giving that toxicity. And so it was better for me, but it was also better for the people around me. And dating myself, um, I was able to raise the bar of what I expected from a man, because basically I'm not willing to interrupt my peace that I've established now, unless that man is able to treat me like I treat myself or better. And so while I wasn't raised by my father, so not knowing how a man should treat me, I would only expect them to give me what I've been able to give myself, because that's what I'm capable of reciprocating.
So okay. So you just took me full circle there. What I mean by that, um, I used to believe that my parents, my mama, can teach me how a woman's supposed to treat me. But technically, my mama can never teach me how a woman should treat me, because she's not me. Literally, what you just said. I can teach myself how I'm supposed to be treated, and then that person can learn from me how I'm supposed to be treated. Because mama's going to be distorted because she loves me and she nurturing and she's going to try to protect me. Me, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to for me to make sure I'm still here. And that person is going to learn from me what I want. That's some of those colloquialism. No, wrong word. Okay, that's that old stuff that I was taught. I try to use a big word. I ain't no big word dude. So I'm going to use a bunch of little words. Um, that's that old stuff that I was taught that I said I'm going to stop using, because that worked for them. That doesn't work for me in my life. And it literally, you just said that thing that I was talking about is I'm I'm a husband to Duran. I get up and appreciate the heck out of Duran, so that when somebody else do it, they get a chance to see what I'm doing and they have an idea of what I want. And then we get a chance to communicate about what I want and what they want. So you killed it right there. Uh, who controls your self love?
um I do now. I
Ooh,
do
I
now.
like that. Now, I do now. That's what I'm talking about. Get it, girl.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I've been selfless with so many people, and then having a uncommunicated expectation that, you know, the joy or the whatever I feel I'm giving to them is going to be reciprocated. But I now move just off of my heart. Like, okay, if I want to do something for you, I'm gonna do it. If I don't, I don't, and I don't owe you an explanation to why. It's like I always felt so obligated to like explain myself or defend myself. I don't now. It is what it is, and I don't have to explain to you why. I said no, and I'm okay with saying no. Um, as before, I felt so pressured to be what people wanted, and it was just creating this like volcano in me, and I wasn't loving myself. I put my worth or my everything. I was looking for validation from other people. Like it was whether or not someone else thought I was something, and that would be uh how I felt for that day or that moment, you know. And so when I started taking control over how I feel and how, you know, and I started looking in the mirror and actually being accountable for the things, you know, rather than like looking to blame, okay, this person made me feel this way, I went through this. Because I mean, if I sit and I just keep regurgitating all the things I've been through, of course I'm gonna be sad. But the thing is, I overcame them or I made it through them. And so I just started paying more attention to the positive things. So even though I went through those things, it didn't destroy me. Even though I made bad decisions, I learned from them. And then so I started I started speaking more kindly to myself, because
Oh,
the
yeah.
things the things that I said in my head to myself, I wouldn't want my partner saying it to me. And so when I started treating myself more kindly, I felt like I got more control over my self-love. Because some people think self-love is like going to get your feet done, going to get your nails done, going to get your hair done. That's just maintenance. Self-love is when you take time for that inner little girl, and you nurture her. You make sure she good. But anyways, that's my thoughts.
That's good. That's good. I like that. Queen for life. Who controls your self love? And Ray the Fixer. Ray the Fix, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent. So Queen is going to answer us about. She already did the first question in the first half. So who controls her self love? And then be ready to answer. How did you go from wife to city girl? And I explained that to you. Yo, how you go from wife to a city girl? Meaning, uh, are you a wife to yourself first? And then that's that self-love piece. And when you were a wife to yourself, did you step out and become a city girl? Now, a city girl is super duper confident to me because she does what she wants and live it how she wants to. But then she do make some decisions that she may want to look at differently later on in life. And then after you do that, then we'll talk about who controls your self-love. So Queen for Life, go ahead and jump on this for me real quick while Ray the Fixer, I love that name, uh thinks about her answers right there. Queen.
I think that my thoughts control my self-love, which is based upon my
Okay.
experiences in life. So to give an example today, like earlier I was in a live where it was very like hostile, negative, and some very toxic words were thrown around. So I feel like because of that, my self-love went down. But then I came on this love and it was just positive and it was just like an amazing experience the second I jumped on. Even from the joke you have on the screen, it made me laugh. And I think that like that experience made me kind of like, like yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. That was oh, you just don't know what you just said. That right there is going to help me transition. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Ray the Fixer. Appreciate you so much for coming up in the box. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, no
Um,
problem.
I think these questions are so layered, but I'll try my best to answer them the best way I knew how.
Okay.
I
So
don't Go ahead.
real quick, you 100% right here. Whatever you say is correct. If you notice, I got grammar that I probably wouldn't pass the test for, but it's okay. I got my degree, so they can't mess with me no more. So whatever you say is 100 over here. So you good. Come on.
So It says, who controls your self-love, right? That's the question.
Yes. Yes.
Me.
Me. Okay, there we
Me.
go. Uh-huh.
I can tell you that I was in a relationship. I was married for 18 years.
Okay.
And I remember in that relationship, depending on his take of me, it made that my take of me.
Yep.
And what I recognized is, at that time, I was super religious, Christian, bona fide Christian woman, going to church maybe 3 to 4 times a week, just devout Christian. And I remember the scripture, it says, who you bow down to is who you serve. And so I couldn't, at that time, I'm thinking, well, I love the Lord. That's what I love. God is the author of all my prayers. He's my direction. He's my guide. Right. And then I realized that I was not serving the Most High. I was serving him. I was serving the man that I was with. And I reaped the benefits of that relationship. And when I say benefits, it's typically whatever you bow down to, whether it's a drug addiction, whether it's a shopping addiction, whether it's a sugar addiction, you are going to reap the benefits of that addiction or the deficits of that addiction. And so I looked around in my 2-bedroom apartment at 4 children. It was roach infested.
Girl, that's okay. I grew up with roaches too. You good?
And it dawned on me, who I bow down to is who I served. So I was always thinking that I was serving this almighty presence, but really I was serving this man who determined how I seen myself. And so when I started to assess that, that's when I started to really get to know the Most High in a different way. And then as I got to know the Most High, I got to know myself. And then I started to determine that even if you're not my partner or my lover or a husband or a spouse, that anybody that I be in company with has to love me like God loves me. And that's what changed how I seen myself. And that's what changed how I chose my partners too. And now as I'm almost 50 years old, I'm saying I look for a partner that is suitable to me, not compatible to me. Because when you look for a compatible partner, they could be compatible to your moment, who you are right now. But if you look for something suitable, a person that is suitable, that person can be good for you now in your highs and now good for you later in your lows, or good for you when you're in your highest self. Even sometimes people are not good for you or to stay with you during your success. You've heard the richest, most successful people say this. Be careful who you connect to, even in your success, because not everybody's prepared for your success. So what I've done for myself is I've decided that I'm going to first love myself like God loves me. And then by default, I'm going to automatically attract those type of people that are going to love me the way God loves me. By default, what I think in my head about myself, I'm going to automatically start connecting to people who see me like God sees me. And by default, I'm going to automatically connect to people who are going to adore me the way God adores me and the way I adore myself. But so, like the official crown said, it is how you speak to yourself. It is what you tell yourself. It is what you surround yourself with that is going to determine how you feel. And that is the conclusion that I've come to. It's all about me. I don't know that I've ever been a city. I don't think I've ever been a city girl. I've always been I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right term, because I feel like you can be a wife and be a city girl at the same time. I mean, most of these women are very self-assured. They're confident.
Yep.
They know what
Extremely.
they want.
Yep.
They're looking for suitability over compatibility.
Yep.
And that could mean many different things to them. And so, I mean, I might have been a city girl, but not in the definition of what people describe city girls as today, in that negative connotation. So all I can say is that the reason why I am who I am, the Ray the Fixer, is because I decided that the first person I needed to fix is myself. And when I
Mhm.
decided that, and I was able to love on me just in my most damaged state and come through that, then I was able to see I was able to see others and forgive others and be patient and be kind and be just. And that's me operating in my highest self. And that's me operating in love.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm ready for this next question. Caleb, I need your support, bro, because uh, I'm gonna have to explain this one here because my next question is a trigger question. It is designed to trigger you. This is
Mm.
why it's designed to trigger you because the first question, what does self-love mean to you? Everyone spoke about themselves and spoke very highly of themselves. Okay. And then the second question was, who controls your self-love? Right. And then I've heard consistently, I do, I do, I do, I do, my thoughts, me. Right. Look at this kind of love that you have for yourself. Um, what I do like was Queen said that she went into a life that was hostile and it changed how she felt about herself. But then she came over here and she felt differently. Please remember that. And then Ray the Fixer just said, connecting to others who adore me like I adore myself. So, with that being said, the last question tonight is where is it? There we go. This is the last question for tonight. Now, please, so for the ones who don't know me, all my questions are loaded. They're loaded because I believe all of us have the intellect to think it through before we answer. Oh, Caleb left me. 6'5" and to make you a moderator so you can help me. Uh, because listen to the way I'm saying the questions. It's two questions, right? Listen to the way that I'm saying the questions, right? And don't read into them. Okay. The first question is from Duran's perspective, right? I want you to rate yourself from 1 to 10, and you cannot use 6, 7, and 8. And we're gonna let Crown go first because hindsight is on the call. Now, if somebody is in the chat and y'all want to jump up here with the numbers and you can answer the question, come on up here and then answer the question for me because it's two questions. But the second question is very critical in being aware of what the question is. Official Crown?
Okay, so the question is rate myself. Don't use 6, 7, 8. What was the
Mm-hmm.
second question?
No, I haven't asked that one yet. That was going to come right after this one.
Oh, okay. And when we are rating ourselves, are we rating ourselves based on our looks, our health, our emotional state? Like what are we actually measuring?
Whatever you want to. You just can't use 6, 7, and 8. From my perspective, you cannot use 6, 7, and 8. So how would you rate yourself?
Can I go last? I don't know. I mean, because I don't. Okay, so I will tell you, I am rating it based off of um my mindset,
Okay, that's
um
cool.
the way I look and my health. And
Okay,
so I would give myself a 3.
okay,
I would give myself a 3. I think I am absolutely beautiful. I love the way I look. I think my mental health is improving. I like the path I'm on. There's still room for improvement. And my health is why I rate myself low. And right now I'm currently doing something about it, but I don't feel, because of the time that, and I don't want to blame it on depression, but I did use food as a coping mechanism when I was depressed. But I allowed myself to gain weight, and I don't feel happy about the way I've allowed my body to change. And so because of that, I would say a hard 3.
Okay. Now, my next question, please pay attention to the question. How would you rate yourself from your perspective?
I thought I just did.
That was from my perspective. The
Really?
first question from my
Oh, from your perspective, it's a 10. No. I don't, how do I rate myself
from your perspective?
From your perspective. I thought well, that answer was my perspective.
Okay. So from your perspective, okay, hold on. So, okay. We're going to work with that one. Okay, just so y'all know, this is loaded. I promise you, because it's interesting. So, Boo Boo Kitty and Cool Ass, y'all weren't here, so I'm gonna run back everything for y'all when I go through Sweet Paula and 210 all day. Thank y'all for coming up. So the question is, we've already talked about self-love. That's this month, right? The first question was, how did you go from a wife to a city girl? Meaning, as a man, I'm a husband to Duran first, so I can teach a woman, so I can teach my partner how to love me by the way that I love me, that they have great examples of that. Then the second question was, and then there was consistency in that question, right? Then the second question was, how do you view self-love? Most people view self-love about themselves, self-loving self, right? The second question was, who controls your self-love? I got a whole bunch of I do, me, my mind, right? So with that being said, y'all know I got loaded stuff. I'm just sharing that to make sure we're all on the same page. And with my questions being loaded, please do not read into the question. Follow the question. From Duran's perspective, I would love for you to rate yourself from 1 to 10, and you cannot use 6, 7, and 8. Sweet Paula, go for it.
Well, I don't know Duran, but I'm gonna stay safe and say a 5 for Duran. Me, I'm just putting myself at a 10 automatically, and it's not because I think anything is just so spectacular. It's just that I know myself with certain people, it can be extraordinary.
Okay, I like that. Now, my next question: how do you rate Sweet Paula from your perspective?
Your perspective would be the 5. Me, I'm gonna be the 10.
No. From Sweet Paula's perspective, how do you rate Sweet Paula from Sweet Paula's perspective?
And I can't use the 7. You know what? Because normally I would say a 10 for myself, but I know I have a lot of work on a lot of things, and since I'm used to twisting myself for other people, this would be me twisting myself for myself. And I know there's some things that I really want to do self-wise. So you know what? I'm gonna knock that down to 5 too.
Okay.
Because we got some things. Got some things I want to work on.
Okay. 210 all day. Were you with the men on Monday?
No.
Okay, good. Okay. So with the question being, rate yourself from 1 to 10, and you cannot use 6, 7, and 8. That question is from my perspective. Okay. So with answering my question, without using 6, 7, and 8, how would you rate yourself?
Well, first of all, through your perspective, I don't know you and you don't know me.
Correct.
To even put a number on that. So, and if I did know you and you know me, I don't care how you see me. So that would have been a non-factor. But as how I see myself is the most important thing, because at the end of the day, self-love. It's all about how I see myself is more important. If I see myself as a low number, then I'm going to live my life to that low number. If I see myself at a high number, I'm going to live that life to a high number because I'm going to be happy. So, yes, I'm going to automatically give myself a 10 because I am happy with myself. Others may not be happy with me, but that's not my problem.
Okay. So,
10.
Now,
all the way.
Is that your answer to the second question, or do you want me to ask you the second question again?
That's the answer
I'm
to the second question.
I'm hoping you asked me to ask you the question again.
Why?
But I will take that as your answer. You gave me that's your answer. I'm gonna have to go with that. I'm gonna have to
I
go with
mean,
that.
yeah, because I gave you both answers in one. So yeah.
Yeah, both of them was beautiful. Both of them were beautiful. Both of them were beautiful. So, cool ass black woman and Boo Boo Kitty for life. Once again, this is about self-love tonight. Self-love, right? And the first question was about what does self-love mean to you? And then the second question was, and it was all about them. And then the second question was, who controls your self-love? Oh, it's a whole bunch of I do, me, myself. Now I want to know, with all this information that I have about you and you know it and you feeling about you, how do you rate yourself from 1 to 10 and you can't use 6, 7, and 8?
How do I think you rate me?
No, how do you rate I'm asking you the question, how do you rate yourself 1 to 10? Kind of like the dude that nobody liked that has passed away and moved on with his life, how he would answer the question. Like he asked that question, right? I'm just asking, how would you rate yourself from 1 to 10 and 6, 7, and 8? I made it more controversial. I took out 3 numbers. So
You did.
that
You did.
that should trigger a little bit more. But then I have another question right behind that one.
I would rate myself. And I'm taking in, I'm kind of like officially crowned myself. I'm taking in the physicality, mentally, emotionally, my accomplishments. And I would probably give myself a 3.
Okay. Now, the next question is, don't read into the question, just go by the question, is how do you rate cool ass black woman? Thank you for changing your name back too. Cool ass black woman. That's so much easier. How do you rate cool ass black woman from cool ass black woman perspective?
I would give her, and this is going to be controversial. I don't want to see it in the comments, y'all. But I would give her a 2.
Okay. I mean, I can go with that. I can go with that. Okay. Boo Boo Kitty. Girl, I'm so scared of
Hello.
you because you just had a birthday.
Hello. Hi,
How you
everybody.
doing, Auntie? I'm doing good.
Thank you for sending your birthday wishes. I appreciated it.
You're welcome. I like what the official crown said too in the chat. I think rating can change as you grow, and a low number doesn't reflect low self-esteem, just reality. Okay. Boy, y'all wait to this last question I got for y'all. That's why I love y'all so much. Y'all, we work so well together and we grow together. All right, Boo Boo Kitty, you ready? How do you rate yourself from 1 to 10? And you can't use 6, 7, and 8.
So when I first came into the chat and I saw the question, I was like, oh, Lord, I hope you don't. I didn't want to answer it. But okay, so I am going to rate myself as a 9.
Okay, I like that.
Because I know my whole body of work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know my whole body of work from start to finish. And it's not based on looks. It's all encompassing of who I am and how I think of myself. And I leave, 10 off because I have room to grow. There are things that I can improve upon.
Okay. Oh, I like that. I got room to grow. That's why I didn't say 10. Okay.
Right. Just my opinion of myself. I think I'm great, right?
Oh no,
So,
I love it.
right, and how another person, a man, would view me, I'm gonna say a 5. Okay, he doesn't know a stranger, right? Like you don't know me. He doesn't know my entire body of work, right? He doesn't know how I became who I am today. So I'm a 5. Now a man that actually knows me, he would he might rate me higher, but I'm gonna say a 5 for somebody like you, and a 9
Okay.
for how I
Oh
was
no,
raised.
I'm not gonna give you 5. I seen what you look like, Mama. So
No.
no.
Oh, okay. Well,
And then plus, the man that rates you, he gonna have Dollar Tree internet like Black Sales. So not me. I got to pick up Black Sales. He can't come up in a box and give me back. So okay, now from your perspective, how do you rate yourself?
Yeah, that was the 9.
That was the 9?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So
Not
I
based on
had
looks, not based on looks, based on my entire body of work and who I am as a woman. That's it.
okay. Okay. So this is the reason why I ask these questions. Because this is what life does to us in a day. We can go through that day, have our self-love on point, how we feel about ourselves, right? And then we have affirmed ourselves by who control our self-love, right? I do. But then somebody can pop in and limit us to them. I limit y'all at 10. And then told you can't use 6, 7, and 8. But then I gave you a reminder in the last question. How do you view yourself from your perspective with no boundaries? But just because somebody else bounded us, we bind ourselves from time to time. My second question had no boundaries. Now, 6, 9 would appreciate this. Numbers are infinite. We had between 1 to over a trillion to pick. I'm going to make an assumption, and if I'm wrong, y'all don't beat me up and block me and stop being my friend. But for me, it seems like y'all stayed within the boundaries that I gave you. With my last question was no boundaries. And the way Caleb said it yesterday, he was like, "Say, man, you just played Simon Says with us." Okay, I see that perspective. Simon Says, "Who love you?" I mean, Simon Says, "How does love look to you?" You know, the Simon Says game for the ones who may not relate to the game. But it was Simon Says, what does self-love mean to you? Simon says this. Simon says you can only go to 10. But the last question, I never said Simon Says. But you still did what Simon said go do.
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, so the whole answering that question was simply partaking in an experiment. What I have made myself refuse to do is to compare, because see, a rating system would simply be comparing myself to the sister next to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so therefore, in that ideology, it's wrong. We shouldn't compare ourselves among ourselves. And so I wouldn't do that anyway. So with the second question, I simply was going with your first thing. I thought it was consistent throughout. But I would say for me, I have tried my best not to focus on where I am on the spectrum amongst other women, but focusing on how do I get to a better me, period. Whether or not it's you know, whether or not there's a mountain of a climb for me to get to where my potential is, or whether it's just a molehill. So I like your experiment because it opened my mind to the fact that I can be limited by just a suggestion
Mm-hmm.
from someone else. I like that. um and I did want to give my perspective and kind of what I wouldn't have ever said like I'm a 20 or I'm a 10 or whatever the top. I'm infinite. I know that there are flaws about me, and I accept my flaws. I appreciate my flaws. My flaws make me perfectly who I am. And so rather, I feel like that's a part of my self-love. Like, I'm not perfect. If I sit up here and be like, even if my body was exactly how I wanted, and that thing back there was thinging, I still wouldn't say I was a 10, because I still have growth. And as long as I'm alive, I should be growing. That's my, I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
Can I say one
So,
thing
wait a minute.
along?
Hold it. Hold it
Okay.
real quick, boo boo. Because I want to acknowledge the official crown. That's exactly why I left it open. Right there, what you just said. That's why I left it open. It could be a number. It don't have to be a number. But you nailed it when you said, "I'm working on me." Part of where this comes from, I met somebody and, I love the hell out of Durant. And some people think I'm extremely arrogant. That's an understatement. I'm beyond extreme. And so they were like, "So if you could rate yourself 1 to 10, how do you rate yourself?" I said, "Well, by the end of the day, I'm close I can to 100. I only gave you 10. That's your fault. I gave myself up to 100. You limit me at 10. 10 ain't the only number. Like there's 11. I turned 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now I'm 52. Just because you limited me there does not mean I'm going to stay there. That's where this question comes from. Because people would try to push us into a box because they're in a box. And certain type of company love that type of company. I stopped participating with them. So exactly what you said, Officially Crowned, that was freaking beautiful because you use no boundaries. You didn't want to use numbers. You chose to use what you wanted to use because you defined what self-love is to you. That's what tonight is about. You defining it. Okay, Boo Boo Kitty.
Nice experiment. Yeah, when I first came into your live and I saw the bottom question, I said, yeah, my first response, what I was going to say is I don't answer questions like that. That was the first thing that popped to mind. But in my attempt to be cooperative, I went ahead and participated. But I agree with what the Official Crown said as well. She's on point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's people will. I'm arrogant about this one too. I only interact with exceptional people. I only interact with extraordinary people. The only question is, do they know that about themselves yet? I know it already because I don't waste my time. Like my time is where I'm at in life. Like if I were to charge consulting fees, like I'm over $700 an hour because I'm worth it, right? So I keep that around me. Like I'm so selfish that I'm surrounded by so many amazing people that I'm covered. And I'm selfish like that. I refuse to let anyone less than the greatest person that they can be around me. Okay? And so that's why I challenge so many people to not go into these small boxes that small people keep trying to put you in. And these are just some examples of how they'll do it. You could be having la 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 la. Boom, they ask you a question. Man, I can't believe that. Blah 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 blah. Your day's thrown off now. We forgot how awesome we are, how extraordinary we are. We're all extraordinary at something. We're all exceptional at something that's customized for us. And all of us have it. And so, yeah, and I appreciate you so much, Boo Boo Kitty. I think if this was somebody else asking that question, I don't think you would have participated.
Yeah, I would have
So
stuck.
I appreciate you so
I would have
much.
my first answer.
Uh-huh. And so everyone that come into my lives, come into our lives, are extraordinary, and they are like the most amazing people in the world. My biggest question that I ask myself, I wonder if they know how amazing they are. I wonder if they know how extraordinary that they are. I wonder if they understand why certain people are around them because they want to keep them where they are, because they know if they know who they are, that person going to be by themselves. Because they're going to miss out on you because you're going to start transitioning into where you want to be because you're loving yourself in such a way that we were not taught to do. Because the ones that did not teach us, they knew the power by our past. So they kept that away from us so we did not know how powerful we are. Well, little old Red has figured it out. And I'm telling it from the mountaintop now. And I challenge all of us to be the best ones. Okay? You can be extraordinary at different points in your life, even if you feel it's not enough at that time. Even when you feel it's not enough at that time, to me, you're still extraordinary because you're recognizing where you are and you still loving yourself where you are because you know you can be greater later. But where I'm at right now, I'm going to celebrate that piece. So I love that what you wrote. Okay. Open table, open conversation, 210 all day. I know you got something else to say now. Because you was like facts to somebody else. I saw that. I read that. I got my trifocals on. Can nobody kick on me squinching today?
I have a comment, and I don't know who said it. And you touched on it when you were just speaking now. But I think the one thing that, because I completely missed the question. When you asked me the first question, I thought you were asking me to just rate myself. So I didn't realize that I was rating myself from your perspective. And without any thought, my thought was, well, you're going to rate me just like whatever I rate myself. Like, that's what I am. but you can't know where my mental health is. And I didn't even consider some of the things that I accomplished when I gave my number. But all of that, the totality of me, is what makes me me and what makes me dope. And so how baby girl, when she was, who was that? Cool ass black woman, when she was like, y'all gonna get me in the comments, when she gave herself a lower number. But it's like, no, I mean, for like, it's okay to be not okay. Like, it's really okay to be not okay. And but to have a plan of how to get from where you are to where you're going. And I think just the realization, when I think that's the most beautiful part of a person, is when they can actually look in the mirror and see their own flaws, because everybody can't do it. And that's why you see a lot of this on this app, where everybody's saying, oh, these people need to be accountable. We need to be just accountable for ourselves. You cannot make anybody be accountable. And so, like, looking in the mirror and seeing your own flaws is an impossibility for some people. So just the fact that you can do that, and to give yourself I would say an honest judgment, or even taking the whole rating system out, a righteous judgment. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where I am. It's not where I'm going to end this story, but this is where I am. And so that right there makes you so beautiful in my book.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. You have to have self-love to say two. And see, when she said two, she never said, cool ass black woman never said that. Was there a number after that? Two could have been her highest number, for all we know. Because all of that was from her perspective. See, that's the thing about life. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, literally, I just can't. Well, I'll say this. I had it. I got a lot going on in my head. So on paper, I'll say your girl right here, probably a 15, 20. I give myself a high rating. But
get it, girl.
I mean, that goes back to what I said. I'm not the shape of a supermodel, but for being 5'2", I think I look good after having 3 kids.
Hold on. Who said that you're not the shape of a supermodel?
Because I'm 5'2", supermodels are at least 6 feet.
Sugar, from a man perspective, just a man perspective, 5'2" can weigh whatever they want to. It's always fine. That's just that's that one height that just, those two together, you can be 315, you can be 105. It all works.
But
you understand that all men don't think like that, and all of society don't think like that. And so in the eyes of society, y'all, I get what she's saying.
Yeah. I mean, so let me just finish this thought. Can I?
Okay, go ahead.
So on paper, literally, I just came back from a after work social, and one of the ladies that I was networking with just kept saying, "Oh my God, you're gorgeous," and I'm looking like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Do I think I'm pretty? Somewhat. Okay, I might be. On paper, yeah, I'm intelligent, but at the same time, and it just goes back to what Officially Crown said, they hit it home for me mentally. If I don't believe that, it don't matter. It doesn't even matter, because literally, if I don't believe that, I'm gonna give that type of energy off. And when I give that type of energy off, guess who comes? Low energy men. So that's why I gave myself that too, because I'm still in this cycle of that.
Right. But that's cool, because that doesn't mean the rest of your life gonna be that. That's just, you have the right, kind of like I told Sarah earlier. I mean, I not told her, I shared with her, you have the right to feel the way you want to feel. Like when you decide to, come out, the womb and cry and come into this world, that gave you the right to feel how you want to. And you have the right to change it and contradict it as many times as you want throughout the day, because it's your life.
You know what? I'm looking
That's
at something in the comments, and I see where it says, "All of you better be walking your personal runways." Baby, we don't have to be on runways. See, I'm spectacular when I leave out the house. Now, I'm not on a runway, but the folks around here, yeah, where I am, I'm absolutely built spectacularly. See, this goes with that whole thing I said in the beginning, when you got people that say one thing
well.
in
Hold
this
on, sweet
world of
Paula.
contradictions.
I think that was a
No, no,
positive.
no. I
I think
think
that
you
was
Hold
a
I
on.
think
positive.
you I think you misunderstood that.
That was
He
a
said
Yes,
positive.
ma'am.
all of you
Compliment.
better be walking your personal runways, the runway of your life. Whatever
Oh, the
whatever you
runway of
look
your
like,
life. All right.
strut
Yeah,
strut
Miss
your
Paula.
stuff. Come
That
on
was
now. You
a
don't
positive
go,
comment.
go let's reel you back in now.
Yeah.
Well,
Girl, look.
so Miss
My attention span is out
Yeah,
the window
six
right
five
now.
is awesome. He's
Thinking
an
about
awesome
something
guy.
completely. All I
Yeah,
heard was
no.
measurements and
Six
we
something
five
about
is
got
a
an awesome
runway, and I'm
guy.
like, oh, I
No,
know
no,
that ain't
you
going over this.
misunderstood it.
no, we got you, Miss Paula. We got Miss Paula. You tell y'all something. I appreciate her so much. She came in very honest. I'm not coming up there because I feel a certain way about BM. I'm saying it's okay. Don't worry about them. We're gonna talk about how amazing you are, Miss Paula. So don't worry about them people.
See, that's probably why I jumped right there. I was
I
just sitting
know.
here mind wandering, thinking about something right now, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold up.
She finna get him.
No, 6'5", he's awesome. But I want to say this before, I get on my rant and rave, and I just want to say this. Literally, I just made a TikTok before I got on here that said, "I'm more than enough." Like, right. And I just stopped there. Like, literally, I
This is.
just took a whole
I mean,
selfie with this on, and I'm like, I'm more than enough. Like,
oh, I remember when you first came in here, how you was feeling in the car, you was doing good and all that. It's, but we have the right. If we all don't take anything away from tonight and every night with me, you have the right to do what you want. It's yours. It's about self. It's about self. Now, 210 all day made a comment, and that's my topic either next week or the week after. Uh, I'm still working on my words on debunking we're not perfect. And so I'm still working on that one to approach it differently. But like for the new people who are here and the ones that know me, the way I do things is I'm going to build you up. Well, I'm going to participate in the building process of you. I don't do anything. I just use your words that you give me to have the conversation. And then I'm going to throw a curveball in there. And when you all get comfortable with question number 3 being the curveball, I'm going to move it around. And what I'm doing is building that self muscle up with you so that when people throw these curveballs in your life, we're not reacting to them. We're loving ourselves in our response. Because even I can react and lose my freedom real quick. I am not excluded from that. And so what I practice very often is answering their question out of respect and then coming back with my perspective of it that's going to be beautiful, as Caleb say, unicorns and flowers, unicorn and roses. He say that's where I live at.
Uni-
And
unicorn and rainbows.
yeah, unicorn and rainbow. That's what it is, unicorn and rainbow. And that is such a major compliment to me. So I love it every time he say that to me. Unicorn and rainbows, because that's my world. It's unicorn and rainbows. My world is so beautiful because it's my story. That's why my podcast is called Your Story is Your Bible, because it's full of all of these great chapters throughout your life. It's full of these miracles. It's full of things that you did starting out one way and then you ended up another way. We've been down the Damascus Road. We done all this. We've all had that that changing point in our lives where it's like, wait a minute, I need to reevaluate this. And then we change. And then we're looking at life like, whoa, I didn't know this existed. All of that is in our stories. There are so many people in this world that speak different languages that need to hear our story. One thing that I will always say, we are created the greatest on this planet. That's why we grow the best. We don't go through nothing from my perspective. That's why we grow through everything. And we always come out on top, even when it don't even look like it. because all these cultures want to be us. That's why they keep writing books about us so they can learn how to be us. But I said your name before, but I'm finna mess it up now. I'm gonna
Star,
let
you
you
can
do
call
it.
me Star or you can call me Cat.
Star. That's right, Star. I go with that one. Woo! Woo! Man, I'm finna jack that one up. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I've been listening to to you guys' stories, and it's nice to hear a lot of beautiful people just speaking out, out loud, sharing their stories and stuff. Because I can relate a little bit to, some of the stories that the ladies are sharing. And like for me, like I was married for 9 years and I had kids and everything, and I went through it all. I've went through it all. I went to the long 5 years of divorce, the ups and downs. I mean, I've done it all. So, I had to, after I got out of my marriage, I had to stop and focus on me, self-love. Like I went through a part of my life to where like I didn't think I was beautiful. I didn't like myself. Like I cut all my hair off. Like I didn't like anything about myself because from hearing from someone else every day telling you you're ugly, you're not beautiful, you this and that, and all the negative, you feel like, okay, I've done all of this, I'm trying my best, and then someone else in their eyes are putting all these things in your head. But the problem is, wasn't just him, it was just me. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't think I was beautiful because words cannot affect you if you don't believe, because it can bounce right back to him. So, I was believing in all of that stuff, and I didn't like myself. I let go of myself. I gained a lot of weight. I cut all my hair off. I stopped doing things that I should have been doing for myself. I didn't focus on myself. So when I got out of that toxic relationship, I decided to focus on me, do the things that I would do for myself. I would travel. I would do, if I want ice cream today, I'll go buy me ice cream. If I want flowers, I will get me flowers. If I want to go to the movies, I'll just take myself to the movies. So I focus on me because I cannot jump into the next relationship, if I'm not in the right place. I'm not right. So I had to get myself right before I can introduce myself to somebody else. But it was definitely tough. I did go to therapy. I've done it all, but I can relate to some of these stories that some of the ladies are saying. Now, I tell myself every day, I'm beautiful. I'm doing the best that I can. Every day is not going to be peaches and cream. Some days it's going to be up. Some days it's going to be down. Just I focus and said, you know what? I'm doing the best that I can at the moment that I'm in right now. There's nothing else I can do to change it. I'm just going to live to the fullest. I'm going to appreciate life because, especially with me working in a hospital, I see people die every day. People will pay money just to see another day to spend time with their family or whatever. And no amount of money can save them. So I should be happy and appreciate the people that are around me, the things that are around me, because tomorrow is not promising. So I
Mhm.
just live my life to the best, and forget what everybody else is saying. So
I love it. That's what I'm doing this whole year. Right there, what you just said. You just summed it up. Is
and I'm not
is
from here. I'm not from here. I moved here when I was about 9 years old. I had to learn how to speak the language. I had to learn to go to school. Everything I had to work from scratch. I had to build myself up. And even after I got out of my marriage, I lost pretty much almost everything and I had to build it back up again. So everything can be taken away in a snap of a second, but your knowledge, can nobody take your knowledge away.
fact.
So, you know, nothing was given to me freely from here. Never been in the system, I always worked my ass off.
Yep, I totally agree with you. It's first of all, I love your accent because I'm from
Thank
Texas.
you.
That's just something we like. Well, I like. I ain't gonna speak for all of them, but I know I do. So that's yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So, but everything that you said, I love it because I had to realize that myself in my life is that D, you've been alone longer than you've been riding this walk. You've been walking this walk in life by yourself more than you think you have. It's just other people will come and ride with you, but then they'll get off and you still doing it. So why all of a sudden today you can't do it, right? It's like I've had adversity all my life, majority of it. And what I've done, I was the best with it when I was young, because I wasn't reading books and taking in all this other stuff. As I began to read books and do all the college and all the late second half of high school, it's like, man, I started being somebody else and stopped being me. Because that was the books were telling me to do. That was the teachers were telling me to do, especially in high school and college. But then when I got out of school, there really wasn't someone structurally telling me what to do every day. So I was lost and I forgot. When I got later on in life, there's a guy you all are going to meet on the 19th, which is my first live on my podcast. He's coming to town because dude just texted me once. It was December the 10th, 2016. He texted me and said, bro, I'm at church, got to come by your house. God told me to tell you something. I'm like, bet, come on through. I opened up my front door. Dude said, God told me to tell you, quit being a fake and be yourself. I'm out. And turned around and walked off. This ain't the kind of guy that talk like that, because this is the kind of guy that make the news. I say it that way. If you mess with him the wrong way. And so for him to come to me like that, it made me begin to think and realize I've been being somebody else. For him to come at me like that, God said he did it. And so I began this transition back then. It's been 7 years to get to where I am today. And TikTok played one of the biggest roles for me getting here. By the way, everybody support. I questioned myself from November to my birthday on Christmas Day about all this stuff I've been doing. But hindsight is gone. But hindsight don't play that. If I question myself, she rips me a new one. Then she'll text me and rip me another new one because she would not accept that from me. And it was crazy how I would accept that from me. I had to transition out of that. And I believe there's nothing that any of us grow through. So when we go through it, we realize there's no story behind it, and nobody else can grow. When I grow through it, that means that I have the skill set to challenge someone else to think differently, use my skills before God take them away from me. And that's why I do all of this stuff now, because there are too many of us that are extraordinary and exceptional that had just conformed to just doing it normal because we tired of being out there by ourselves. Let's just do what everybody else doing. Well, let's create our own space.
Kudos to you. I'm proud of you, Black man. I'm proud to see you and your platform and what you're doing here on TikTok, because there's so much divisiveness between us. And I'm just happy to be in a positive space where there's somebody here uplifting others. It's a beautiful thing to see. So I appreciate you.
Oh, no, I appreciate you so much. So thank you. Best transition. So I was questioned last month, like, Duran, you doing men on Monday, women on Wednesday. Why you not bringing us together so we can show everybody else that we can have a great conversation together? So tomorrow is the first night for that, because I said Caleb and I and Dave, we all agreed that we'll start it next month. So next month is here. So tomorrow we're going to have the same topic, but it's men and women talking together. And, same concept, lifting each other up. When we begin to say, I give you max 8 to 10 seconds to say something that may not be positive about the opposite or about yourself, and then you got to flip it to something positive. And if you don't, we stop you and say, okay, how can this become positive? Because that is this space, right? We deserve the right now. If you're going to, what's that? It's complaining if you have nothing positive to say, but it's constructive. Constructive is what it is. So it's constructive when, okay, hey, I don't like when you do this, but if you blah, 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 this one makes me feel better. That's totally different. That we're on board for, right? But one of the things that we will put our foot down about is positivity. Okay? It's only 2 hours. You can do whatever you want after that hour. Kind of like what my coaches used to say. Bruh, you run with me for 2 hours. After that, I don't care what you do, because I know you're going to win at the track meet on Saturday. But just give me my time to prepare you to stay a winner. So I'm like, just give me this time right here. Everyone grows at their own pace, right? If we become exposed to it here and don't apply it until 5 years down the line, perfect. We'll apply it tomorrow. Perfect. We'll apply it tonight. Perfect. It's when you're ready to apply it. It's just great to have the information in us. Okay? So I want to thank you all. I was supposed to stop at 10, but I did give Little Man 30 more minutes. It's 25 after. I got to go do my checks on him for the next 5 minutes. I have honestly enjoyed you all. Wednesday is my favorite because I shared this on when I first started doing my TikToks. I did a video on this one here. Majority of y'all are moms and stuff like that. My mom did not have a lot of chances. She had 5 kids the way that she chose to have them, and she worked all her life and did for others so much and didn't do for herself. It pleases me on Wednesday night when I hear mamas taking care of themselves. As a son, that broke my heart seeing my mama not take care of herself. And I could not fix it with money, emotions, or nothing, because mama had to make that choice for herself. And I watched her go. Well, I didn't watch her go, but I went to go see her, and I was looking at her in the bed giving up. And so seeing you all here gives me hope for other sons and daughters, because they want to see their moms win. And that's why I have so much. Yeah, daddies are great, but the number of daddies and mamas we got are way vast different. So I'm a mama's boy, well, of course, but I love my mamas. I love the women that have kids and nieces and nephews and stuff. So when you all come in here and you're vulnerable and you share how you're growing and you share where you at, I love it. I love it because there are sons, daughters, nieces, and nephews that are getting the opportunity that I never did get. So I get a chance to live mine through you all. And I thank y'all for that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you all. Y'all have a good night. We're going to try this
Thank you.
tomorrow. I moved it to 8 to 10 because that covers Eastern, 7 Central, and then 5 o'clock Pacific. So it gives everybody on every coast to have a time. In the chat, thank y'all so much. Love y'all support.
Okay.
Everyone, this is our live, not Duran. This does not
Thank
work
you.
unless everybody talks. Go ahead, Sweet Paula.
No, I said okay.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
cool. All
See you
right, so
tomorrow.
y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, see y'all
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Have a good one.
Blessings.
Good night.
Bye,
Caleb, I'm finna
guys.
call you. Thank y'all so much.